The old dirt road down to Pound
No, but that's
Town.
really good. That's really good. Maybe I'll take that one.
I'ma take my horse down the old town road.
I'm gonna ride
Ride till I
till
can't
I get
no
to
more.
Pound Town.
What?
Matt, when was the last time you rode until you couldn't ride no more?
Ooh, drag
Depends.
him.
What am I riding?
Drag him.
You know what you ride.
A bike?
When was the last time you rode a bike, please?
That's a good point.
Did
I
it have
don't.
training wheels on it?
No. Mommy's milk.
Meat sucky
Meat
sucky
sucky
now,
suck.
mommy.
Mommy's milk. Anyway, what are we doing?
Mommy's milk.
Hello,
Did you
everyone.
record?
Yeah.
Oh, you are
I
recording.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Oh.
back to another lovely episode of the What Do the Gays Think podcast. Today with me, I have the disgusting and hideous Pat. How you doing, Pat?
What a hostile work environment you guys create together.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact the head of HR. Oh wait, that's me. I'm gonna have a meeting with myself in a little bit. How you're a little bitch.
No, I'm just kidding. Pat is amazing. And also with us, we have the beautiful and enchanting Jackie. How you doing, Jackie?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
It's cute.
Listen, I ran out of compliments, and I don't have any more. So now I've switched to insults for Pat.
Wow.
Yeah, I can tell.
Hold on, I'm just texting someone important.
I swear to God, is it me? Are you about to text me? I swear to fuck. All right, well,
No, you know what? It's okay. I'm taking care of it.
well, anyway, yeah, Jackie has joined us again for another lovely episode. This is going to be the episode that comes the week after our final Pride Month episode. Are you guys texting each other? You little bitches. Come on, spill it to the class. Read it to the class. I'm waiting.
What?
Wait,
What?
Pat,
What?
Come on, show it to the class.
just watching carefully your blink patterns.
How about you? I'm listening carefully for your noise.
Oh my God. Okay.
Well, I just said, hey babe, are you okay? I'm worried about your workplace and your relationship at work. And Pat goes, oh mom, thanks for checking on me. And I said, specifically with your co-host. And he says, I'm not okay. I need you to rescue me. And then I said, blink twice if you need rescuing. Ah, there it is. Okay. Hold on,
No,
I
that
gotta
was
call
like 5
911.
blinks. That was like 5 blinks.
Make a chicken noise if it's a safe space. Or a turkey.
Okay, Pat. What are we talking about this episode?
Oh, okay. Well, when this episode comes out, it'll be July. So, LGBTQ
No more gay
plus, yeah, LGBTQ plus
No more gay
people,
rights.
you're no longer safe in the world. We must go back in the closets and hide ourselves because Pride Month's over.
F.
And I wanted to do just like a catch up because we missed some stuff while we were too busy, talking about Pride stuff. That like the world unfortunately kept turning and it kept getting hotter because global warming's a real existential threat that we're all going to die from. But prior to that, we should talk about the things we missed. So first on the docket, Billie Eilish, is she a queer baiter?
The discourse. All the discourse on this.
So let's take it back to her first album's track, Wish You Were Gay, or Wish You Were Gay. I think it's called I Wish You Were Gay? One of those. So she got some flack when her first album came out and that song came out because a lot of people saw the track list, thought, oh my God, she's coming out. Like, it's about her thinking, like, another person was gay to like them. No, the track is actually about a boy that didn't like her for reasons that were beyond his sexuality, and she just wished that it was that. So it didn't have to be about him not liking her because there was no connection, but because he didn't like her at all because she was a woman, because he was gay. So she was wishing that he was gay, so the unrequited love would have an easier explanation than he just didn't like her for her, that it was never going to happen at all. So some people, A, thought it was queerbaity to have that as a title, and then B, thought it was like somewhat homophobic to use, sexuality as a means of like explaining unrequited love. So we can start there.
Hmm.
What do y'all think about that? Because this happened a while ago, so I'm not going to drudge it up for too long. But what do you think about the starting point of the conversation?
I don't like it.
Why not?
Tell us.
It's just one of those instances, and I don't know if you guys feel this sometimes, but it's just one of those instances that like rubs me the wrong way in terms of when straight people try to use gay people in, or like they try to bring up gay people, and it's like weird and it's like out of bad taste. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way in terms of what you're talking about.
I think
Okay.
I think it's another instance of the I don't know if she was doing this intentionally, but like heteronormative culture kind of using homosexuality as a scapegoat. And I feel like this is an example of that. The concept of, quote, like softening a blow of like your feelings being like not as hurt because of someone's sexuality, I don't think is a really great place to be in, or for the LGBTQ plus culture to be in. And I think maybe in the future, if things were equal, like it wouldn't be as much of an issue. But right now, where
Right.
there's so much like inequality, I think it's not a cool place for us to be in.
Well, what do you guys think about the first thought that fans jumped on that it was queer baiting just by the title alone? Do you think she was actually trying to queer bait, or do you think that was just fans sort of like reading in too deep before the actual song came out? Because they saw the
Uh,
title "Wish You Were Gay," and a lot of fans were like, "Oh my God, she's gonna come out!" And then when the song came out and it wasn't about her being gay, a lot of them were like, "She was queer baiting us. She was leading us on." Do you think that was valid, or do you think that was just them kind of reaching? She's reaching, Your Honor. She's reaching.
I think it was queer baiting, but I don't think she meant it that way. I guess because straight people don't
Okay.
care about gay people, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
if you're asking me,
What?
like,
No allies exist for Matt. No straight
no,
allies exist for
no,
Matt.
no. In general, I don't think that straight people are actively trying to, in many ways, like reach out to the gay community and be like, "Hey, I'm possibly gay as well." Like that, like the. I don't think she did it on purpose. Is what I'm trying to say. Like she
Right.
didn't actively queer bait. She just was like, "I'm gonna call this song this because that's what this song is about," not
Right.
realizing the connotation that the gay community would take it as because she's not in the queer community, so she wouldn't understand how our community would take that. So I don't think she did it on purpose, but
Right.
she did it.
Jackie.
I agree, and I don't think it was queer baiting.
Okay.
I think
Um.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna take the stance like I don't think it was, and essentially for all the same reasons that Matt said.
Right. I don't think it was queer baiting. I think the fans really jumped because, like,
Yeah.
the song was, it was just the track title, and
Right.
then it was
Right.
the song. The content came out for the song, and then people were like, "Oh shit." So I don't think it was queer baiting. I think the fans leapt for it, and I don't think it's wrong of her to write the song. I know you two kind of said it, you didn't like it, but I don't even think it's wrong of her to write it like that because I've wished straight men were gay a
Okay.
lot of
Okay. You know
times.
what? That's fair.
And
That's fair.
I've also thought to myself when I had feelings for a straight man that it was better off that he did not like me because he was straight. Because if it was the alternative and he was gay and didn't want me, it would feel worse.
You
Because then I'd be
know,
like, "Oh, so I had a chance with you and you like deliberately denied me," as opposed to it just being like an intrinsic biological thing. You just don't even I don't even appear on your radar kind of thing. So like I don't think it's really that bad for her to have that reaction to it. I understand why people didn't like it, but I personally don't really care about
Mm,
it.
it still
going
rubs
off
me the
your
wrong
thought,
way.
You
there
yeah,
are some people
it can rub
who
you.
were gay who I wish were straight. So,
Oh,
yeah.
Christian Walker is that
Christian
his name?
Walker.
I
I
wish he
don't know
was fucking
I
straight.
don't know who that is, but I'm going to take your word for it.
I
Well,
should send you some of
continue.
his videos.
Send them to. He keeps sending them to me, and I don't want them because I don't want TikTok knowing that I'm watching it.
You two send me all the same stuff, so like I'm cursed either way.
I just send them to
Well,
Pat at this point to piss him off.
I don't watch them because he's vitriolic. He's very right wing, conservative, person of color, gay, and it's just really it rubs me the wrong way.
Hmm.
But back to Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, tell
recently
me.
she's come back into the debate of it all for queer baiting because she had a song come out called Lost Cause. And prior to its release, she was teasing like the music video, and it was a picture on her Instagram. It was her and a bunch of her lady friends, presumably, and the tagline or the description was "I love women." And basically the music video is her and a bunch of her female friends dancing out, and the song is about her realizing that someone she was with was a lost cause and that the person was no longer worth it anymore. But the gay community, the LGBTQ community, once again, I feel reached for it because they saw the description of I love women and just assumed she meant she was a lesbian, where I think it was much more about female empowerment and being around your female friends or just any gender, your friends, when you realize the relationship you're in is no longer worth it and you kind of fall back on them to be there for you. So I think the I love women line was her just saying, like, I love women. Like, I love my female friendships. I love my female relationships. But the queer community got all up in her business again about queer baiting. Now, I guess with the previous history of Wish You Were Gay, there was like, precedence to target her again for this. But do you guys think just for the tagline I love women with a picture of her and a bunch of her female friends, do you think that's enough to once again be like, she's queer baiting?
I I kind of don't think it is because why are we penalizing artists for expressing something? You know, like having that line in there. Why are we accusing them of queer baiting if that's part of like the expression of their album or just them as a person? I don't know if
Yeah.
I put that in the most eloquent way, but it just kind of feels wrong for the gay community to be just ready to lash out, I guess, at this person for literally like a sentence. It just that doesn't rub me the wrong way.
The added
Right way.
layer is that this was released during Pride Month, so people think she was capitalizing on queer community during
Oh,
Pride Month because she was releasing it to be sold. Like the track was going to be released and you could buy it during Pride Month. But I don't know because I think no matter what month she put that in, it would have galvanized the fan base the same.
I think that that point is very valid. I think either way, it kind of sounds like they were at that point then maybe watching for it and ready to
Yeah,
just be like, oh bitch, no,
not
Oh,
again.
bitch.
not again,
Matt, what do you
bitch.
think?
I think kind of the same thing that I thought previously. I think it was unintentionally queer baiting. And what I mean by unintentionally is if you're a straight person and you post that, you're not thinking about that in the same way that the queer community might think white that the queer community might think about it.
The white
Uh,
privilege jumped out at you.
No.
Yes. And again, that's not anyone's fault, I don't think. I just think that, sometimes the non queer community needs to think about how people are going to interpret what they put online, especially during Pride Month. Like, people might misinterpret what you're doing and then get mad at you when you're like, oh, no, that wasn't what I was doing. Again,
Yeah.
kind of the same thing how I feel about Luca. We talked about this in the last episode.
Mm.
But, in my opinion, Luca is definitely a gay metaphor. The entire movie is a gay metaphor, and the main characters could also potentially be LGBTQ. And then the director for the movie came out and said, no, that's not that was not the intention of the movie. And I'm like, okay, but then that's queer baiting because this entire movie is an allegory of like if the straight if the straight community is making a piece of art that can be interpreted in a way, and then like the like, do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, art can be interpreted in any way depending on your perspective. So it's really not. I think. I think that's more of a stretch because any sort of othering of any group could be an allegory for LGBTQ people. Any sort of outsider who is for any reason, skin color, shape, gender, whatever, you could patch that onto LGBTQ plus issues, and you could see the similarities between them. So I don't know if like, I think the director coming out or the producer, whoever said it, explicitly stating this is not our intention, that's kind of rude. That is what I think. I think it's
I
definitely rude to do
I
that.
agree.
But I guess it's nice because maybe they didn't want it to seem like they were pandering, or maybe that they didn't want to seem like they were trying to make money off of queer community without actually giving representation. But at the same time, rude of you to just say that.
It was
I
rude.
I agree with Pat. I don't think Luca was queer baiting. To me, if Luca had queer baited, if they released like the Luca logo and it had like the pride flag overlaid it, and then there was nothing gay, that to me
That'd have been
would be like
lovely.
blatantly queer baiting. But I think like Pat said, I think the freedom of interpretation with art, to me, Luca doesn't feel like queer baiting.
Okay, let me rephrase again. Once again, unintentionally queer baiting,
Right.
because if that was never the artist's intention for it to be an LGBTQ metaphor, then like again, you can very easily interpret it to be that way,
Yeah.
and so they're not looking at it through the lens of the queer community and how we can interpret that. So
So
Yeah.
are you just saying that you think Luca, the director, shouldn't have said anything?
well, yeah, well, for one thing, I don't think he should have said anything. Like, if the queer community wants to take it as an allegory for coming out, then I think he
Yeah.
should have just let that happen. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was wrong of him. But like, even if that wasn't their intention, they should have thought about it in a way where the queer community can interpret this as this. So if I don't want it to be interpreted that way, then change your writing. Like, I don't know.
I think it's okay the way that it's open. Like I think essentially I think I disagree with you. I think it's positive that it was left open for interpretation, kind of like that point of other for others to interpret
But if you're
how
gonna
they
come out
will.
and say that this is not an LGBTQ metaphor, then that defeats the purpose of it being open.
Right. Like they're actively excluding someone's interpretation of the film. I think it works both ways because one way they, like I said before, they don't want to probably make the queer community feel like, hey, we made this film for you, but didn't actively put in representation
Right.
because of, X, Y, and Z, like Disney investors, Pixar investors,
Right.
whatever. But at the same time, they really shouldn't be telling their audience how to perceive their work because it is a piece of art that should be interpreted by whoever. I
Yeah,
can read X-Men and totally see it as a gay allegory because of the fact that mutants are meant to hide their powers and are socially excluded because of them.
yeah.
I can do that, and artists for X-Men writers have said that's how you want to do it. That's how you want to do it. So
Anyway,
yeah.
my whole thing about all of this is that it's the straight community being ignorant to how the queer community can interpret things is what I was trying to get at through Billie Eilish.
Which brings me to the
Yeah,
next
fair.
topic. Excellent transition.
Ooh.
Anthony Mackie.
Oh God.
I want to bring up the quote. I mean, I'll try to bring up the quote as best I can. I don't want to waste. But Anthony Mackie, who plays the Falcon, which now is Captain America in the Marvel MCU. Spoiler alert: he is now Captain America, basically.
Oh, what did Anthony
Um,
Mackie do?
Basically, there was the Disney Plus show for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where Anthony Mackie co-stars with the lovely and hot Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, the one that you hope chokes you.
Yeah, I love it. But he basically, let's see. Okay, I think this is the quote.
Oh, I don't want to spoil myself on the quote.
He was like, "Stop calling me gay," basically.
Yeah, because people are shipping, Bucky and
Oh, yeah.
Sam,
Yeah.
and he took the stance of, quote, the idea of two guys being friends and loving each other in 2021 is a problem because of the exploitation of homosexuality. It used to be guys can be friends, we can hang out, and it was cool. You would always meet your friends at the bar, You can't do that anymore because something as pure and beautiful as homosexuality has been exploited by people who are trying to rationalize themselves. So something that's always been very important to me is showing a sensitive masculine figure. There's nothing more masculine than being a superhero and flying around, blah, 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 but there's nothing more sensitive than having emotional conversations and a kindred spirit friendship with someone that you care about and love. So I think what he was trying to say was
Hmm.
just let Bucky and Sam be friends. Don't try to exploit homosexuality because you shouldn't do that to the homosexual community. But I'm like, it's the members of that community that are shipping you two. Like, don't tell the community how to use their sexuality on two fictional characters where the heteronormative media for all of eternity has been man and woman and people have shipped men and women who aren't canonically together forever. So don't start putting barriers on who can ship who, and then don't be under the guise of this like white knight protecting the homosexual community from being exploited when it's those community members who are doing the shipping.
I think
So
that's
what
a
do
really
you
fair
two feel
point.
about that?
Matthew, you go first.
Um, so one thing about this, and it's not necessarily the whole like, stop shipping the two of them. For me, like the part where he says like, "There's nothing more masculine than being a hero,"
Mm.
like, hmm.
Flying around.
That could have been said better, or
Yeah.
or maybe you could have just left that part out, like, because
Yeah.
I don't think being a superhero has to be a masculine thing. It doesn't have to do with masculinity and femininity at all.
Right.
Yeah, it's an
Right.
act. It's a gender non-conforming act.
It's a job. It's your fucking
It's
job.
a
Put
job.
on your
Yeah.
goddamn cape, bitch.
So I think that
Put
was
on your wings.
that bit was a bit weird to me.
Yeah.
But also, like, this, again, kind of similar thing to Luca. Like, don't just explicitly say, like, don't ship these two characters because that's not what it was supposed to be. Like, let people interpret it the way that they want. Again, same thing with
Yeah.
Luca. Like, just leave it open. Just don't shut out the queer community who is trying to get representation because we have so little of it. So
I mean,
Right.
we're really starved.
Yes, we are just a starving little baby over here.
Needing mommy's milk.
No!
meat sucky sucky.
Eat sucky sucky. No, I agree with Matt. I think that just could have been left out entirely. And I think it feels to me like his bigger issue. His comment also relates to a very larger issue outside of LGBTQ plus community, which is just how we depict men in media and how toxically we tend to depict men in media. And historically, we depict men with really unhealthy relationships, not just with other characters, but also with themselves and the ways in which they approach communication to themselves and other people. And I think he was trying to defend. I could see how he was trying to essentially say, "Hey, this is maybe one of the healthy media depictions
Right.
of two males." But I agree. I think there's some issues there.
Yeah, he didn't say it in the most graceful way possible.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, yeah, that was that. So yeah, did anyone hear about this? Sorry, Supreme Court recently protected
No,
a
which one?
cheerleader's right to drop F-bombs via the First Amendment.
Oh, that is not the Supreme Court case that I thought you were talking about.
So the U.S. Supreme Court sided with students in a case involving a cheerleader who dropped F-bombs on Snapchat while complaining about her school. In a victory for student speech rights, the Supreme Court on Wednesday ruled that a former cheerleader's online F-bombs about her school is protected speech under the First Amendment. But in an 8-1 vote, the court also declared that school administrators do have the power to punish student speech that occurs online or off campus if it genuinely disrupts classroom study. But the justices concluded that a few swear words posted online off school grounds, as in this case, did not rise to the definition of disruptive. So I'm going to open the floor. Does anyone want to just call out one of their schools for something? Because it's protected by the First Amendment. So I'm going to give you some free airtime if one of you has a grievance. I know I have something, to say about one of the schools I went to. So anyone?
You
wanna-
go first. I'm very curious to hear.
Yeah,
your
Pat, I
prepared
want to hear
statement.
this.
Yeah, so I think that Old Bridge High School has a lot to work on in terms of its sort of racial sensitivity, behavior, and also its diversity when it comes to its faculty, their gender, races, trying to get everyone across the board because I've heard some really fucked up stuff. And also in schools in general, could you teach us how to have anal sex? Like, I'm really fucking tired about two things when it comes to the health and sex ed courses in school. For
Oh
one
my
thing,
God, yeah.
I didn't really learn a lot about health in it. All I learned was the best position for a woman to be when a baby slides out of her, and how it looks like it's covered in ectoplasm when it comes out. So I would much rather learn about the AIDS epidemic and how to really fuck a man in the ass where both of us enjoy it.
Um,
Um,
can we also talk about just general sex ed, like,
Yeah.
and like generally like about our bodies and shit, like
Yes.
like the schools didn't teach us anything about
Jack
like
shit.
what would happen to us when we like when we went through puberty, like
yeah.
anything about sex. Honestly, I don't remember learning even about straight sex at all. I didn't
Yeah, like I
learn nothing
knew
about
that the
that.
penis like ejaculated sperm and semen, but like how do you stimulate the clit to have an orgasm? I don't know. They didn't tell me.
Nope.
We learned some really outdated like training. They weren't even training videos. They were just really bad videos that were very heteronormative. And just irrelevant to everyday normal life. I agree with, like, as Matt said, everything with the sex slash health department. Why is it taught by gym teachers? It
Mm.
shouldn't
Oh yeah.
be.
What
Like, don't
is
even get.
that?
I don't know why it's kind of just like shoehorned into just like throwing it at the poor gym teachers who already have to teach the most classes and a lot of times do coaching. And now you're also having them try and educate
Yeah.
us about
I
our bodies.
I don't also like how health was always like a semester. Like it
Yes.
wasn't
Yeah.
like it was like you had 3 semesters of gym in the fourth or whatever. I don't remember how school was divided up back in the
I
day.
forget.
Because that's high school. But like 1/4 of the year was like your health and education, like 4 weeks of learning, and then the rest was just gym. I was like, if you're gonna teach like a health course, it should be like a full body, top to bottom, in and out. Like you learn not detailed anatomy and physiology stuff, but like well, just the organs, like the organ system and what each one does in general, like eating, how like eating just affects like your diet and just basic health stuff. Like what if do you have to take a daily vitamin? Should I be on like my what's it called? What's that vitamin brand? Or a Flintstone vitamin? Like someone give me the information.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
anyone
agree.
want to come call out their school for something? Anyone in particular? A teacher?
A teacher.
I'm trying to rack my head. I don't know if I
I
have
don't
any
know.
other school things to call. Oh, support the arts more. My high school really cut the arts program
Yeah.
in lieu of a fucking like football field.
How
And
stereotypical.
I know it's like so stereotypical and such bullshit. So Hopewell, you done fucked up. You really fucked up.
Yeah. Um,
I will call out probably Old Bridge High School again, and probably
mhm.
just the New Jersey education history curriculum, for not teaching us everything that you could have taught us about Black history, and kind of whitewashing it, like just whitewashing the U.S. history in general. I mean, we did
Yeah.
learn about, slavery and the Civil War and all that jazz, but there's so much stuff that I've learned more recently just by watching like Netflix documentaries and doing my own research that was like, we should have been taught this in school. Why weren't we taught this in school? So
Yeah.
do better.
Do better.
Hashtag do better. But yeah, going forward, everyone, if as long as you're not genuinely interrupting the class, and you are not threatening, violence, you can just go off, pop off. We go in,
Pop
on your
Hello.
off.
school.
Are you going to bring
So
up the other Supreme Court case?
no, not yet.
But
I'm gonna
are you
bring
going
up.
to?
You can bring it up. This isn't just me. If you have stuff you want to talk about, you can talk about.
Well, if you're going to bring it up
But
later, you can.
well, let's get to that. First, we have the New Jersey high school valedictorian cut off during speech about LGBTQ plus identity.
I heard about this. Yeah.
What?
Bryce, I'm sorry, Bryce, if I butcher your last name. Bryce Dersham, who identifies as queer, said his speech was intended to inspire his peers Voorhees Township, New Jersey. A New Jersey high school valedictorian who identifies as queer said he was censored during his commencement speech while trying to inspire his peers.
What
In
New
front of a
Jersey high
crowd,
school?
in front of a crowd of roughly 2,000 people, Eastern Regional High School valedictorian Bryce Dersham spoke about his sexuality, saying, quote, after I came out as queer freshman year, I felt so alone. That's when his mic cut out. Quote, the principal, Dr. Tull, came up to the stage, grabbed the paper I brought, and crumpled it in front of me. Dersham told NBC affiliate. He's pointed to this speech he had written for me and told me I was to say that and nothing else. Then it ends on a good note. The audience cheered to let him finish, so he did the rest of his speech from memory. Reports Dersham spent time in recovery for anorexia and said he became who he is during his 4 years in high school. Dersham said a week prior to graduation, administrators told him graduation was not, quote, his therapy session. Quote, I did feel censored. I felt as though they were trying to regulate the message I was going to say and take away parts of my identity that I'm really proud of. The Eastern Regional School District did not speak to WCAU on camera, but Superintendent of School Robert Cloutier shared the following statement. The principal, working with additional staff as needed, supports students in connecting their educational experiences to a meaningful, inclusive message about the future of all students in the class and for the students' invited guests. Dersham considers the incident a speed bump, but not a detour on his journey to inspire others to be unapologetically themselves. Believe in yourself, class of 2021. Every one of you is enough.
That's what the high school said?
He said at the end of his speech.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he got a standing ovation.
That's pretty fucked up.
Wow.
So yeah, can we talk about how when first of all, I don't like valedictorian speeches. I
Yeah.
think it's a little elitist and a little it's elitist to put like the best student on a pedestal and give them time to speak to an experience that is not shared by everyone. But since we're doing it,
Quote
since
best.
we're doing it, it's in the zeitgeist, we're committed, fine. If you're going to allow the student to do it, then you have to allow the student to give the speech they want to give, which is trying to, talk about their experiences and the class's experience. And if his experience was contingent on his experience, that means all of his experiences, including experience with his sexuality.
That's fucked up.
I'm really appalled. I was watching the video of that as you were reading it, and he was also asked apparently to take off his pride robes. He wore like the rainbow pride.
Oh, good,
over
even
his robe.
better, even better.
Yeah, and he was asked to take them off by his school administrator, and he refused.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, you can see the this is all on video. You can see the principal come up and remove the microphone. And you can hear the crowd cheering. I think it's really gross because, as you said, Pat, it's part of his identity and his experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really shows that we will not stop at anything to put down a person if they don't conform to what we want them to do, especially in the context of like academia and fucking school administrators can suck a dick. All of them suck a fucking dick.
And that's
I'm
protected
sorry.
under the First Amendment. Just saying.
Protected. I'm sorry that for my high school graduation, I know this has been the case for many others, I've had to sit through like a fucking hour and a half of speeches where you're all just blowing smoke up each other's asses. Why is it okay for you to speak about whatever bullshit you think you contributed to high schools and not let a person who is my peer, who has worked really hard to be valedictorian and get really good grades, just be themselves? Why is it so hard for you to allow a person to be themselves? I think it's a load of steaming horse shit that then had cow shit and then maybe some dog shit just all piled on top into a delicious brown smoothie. And you know what I think?
Soup.
I think shit soup. I think you should just saddle on up. Here's a bowl and let's ladle it out for you. Because I think you're fucking useless.
If there is any petition to remove this principal or whatever administrators were behind this incident, let me know.
Let me know.
Tweet at us at WDTGT Podcast. And I will sign whatever petition there is that is in existence for this.
We are all New Jersey residents or former New Jersey residents. So this is just gross.
I just want to say that I remember what's below the valedictorian again? The salutatorian?
Salutatorian, yeah.
Yes.
Salutatorian. Um,
Salutatorian.
I remember being at my high school graduation. I remember the two speeches, and I remember sitting there, and I remember looking at the two people, and I was like, neither of you represent my high
Hey.
school experience in the
Yeah.
slightest. Like
Yeah.
I knew both of them very tangentially. I didn't know them
Mhm.
as I wasn't friends with them, but I knew them tangentially. I've seen them, had classes with a couple of them, or had a couple classes with them. And I just remember like your experience does not match mine whatsoever.
No.
And which is fine because everyone should have their
Yeah.
own experience, but allowing like the top as if GPA is a good measure of the top student to speak to the whole class, which Matt knows, our high school was gigantic.
Oh,
No
yeah.
way any one person's
Really?
speech could encapsulate. How many people did we have in our graduating class? Like,
Fucking 500 or something. I don't know. More than
It was
that,
Oh,
maybe
that's
ridiculous.
small. That's pretty
no,
small.
it wasn't 500.
No.
Wasn't it way more than that?
700. It was something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a large shit show, and not any one student could possibly give a speech that everyone would feel like seen for. So I think that whole thing is bullshit, and I think it
Yeah.
would cut down on the whole time of graduation because graduation takes too goddamn
Oh
long
my
anyway.
god.
Anyway, back to better news. We gotta really move past all this sad stuff.
Yeah, give me some good shit.
Yeah, ready? Wait, where'd it
Uh-oh.
go?
I think he's gonna do an ironic one. Uh-oh.
Mm,
Where the hell did I wait? Oh my god, that just is wait.
hello?
Fully vaccinated Israeli citizens still contract the Delta variant of COVID-19. The Delta variant is more transmissible than other variants. How do we all
I
feel?
told you. I told you he was going to do some plot twist bullshit. I called it.
How do we all feel about the Delta variant? Are we scared? Because if fully vaccinated Israeli people can get it, that's not it. It's not good.
It's not good.
I think that based on what I've seen in terms of like recent data, that the Delta variant is more transmissible, but the vaccine still works in the same way as it did in terms of preventing really bad symptoms. So
Okay, fine.
So in terms of, yeah, we may have a higher chance of catching the Delta variant, but vaccinated people are still less likely to show symptoms and obviously be hospitalized and die. There was also another interesting statistic that I heard recently that like last month there were 10,000 or so, probably more than that, cases, and 99% of 70,000 or so deaths. And 99% of those deaths were among unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
So,
Jackie, as someone has more experience with COVID, maybe you could give us more of an enlightened look. Are you upset about this? You scared? What are you feeling?
I think my level of fear, it's decreased a little bit, but it's still kind of plateauing for me, and this kind of just, for me, it validates my response to our pandemic times, which is to continue to wear my mask, even though I am #fully vaccinated. Because this does make me worried, because I know that there are still many people who are not vaccinated or who are choosing not to be vaccinated. I was just trying to look up if the symptoms of the Delta variant are more aggressive or impactful than the quote the normal strains, because the normal strain for me was not fun and kicked my ass, and I've talked a bit about that. So even having it again, even if it's less, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Listen, I don't want it, you guys.
Yeah, like you can keep your COVID Delta variant.
Keep it.
What like a hot name for it though? I think Delta variant is so cool.
So sexy.
Like the marketing.
Yeah.
What I don't know why it's called Delta, but like it just
who's their brand manager? Because
I'm pretty sure someone can corroborate this, but I'm pretty sure in the Ruby and Sapphire remake, the Deoxys Rayquaza stuff was called like the Delta event.
Oh.
Like that whole post game concept is called like the Delta story, Delta event. And I was like, this is hot. Like cause Delta, the Greek the Roman or Greek symbol for delta is the triangle.
Yeah.
And like back in the day when you were playing Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, when you got the ticket to get Deoxys, there was this triangle you had to move around because Deoxys was originally in the triangle and then it comes out of it. But anyway, I digress. Let's go on to the last thing I want to talk about before anyone else can jump in and have their own opinions or stories.
Oh my God.
There's a really bad heat wave going on. So have we all accepted that climate change is it? Like it's here, it's arrived, it's happening?
I think it's bullshit.
Climate change. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Jackie _the_bananas on Twitch is a climate denier. And I think that's really something we need to discuss. So next time she streams, maybe have a little conversation with her about it.
I think I want it here on record. I think Trump was right, and there's no climate change.
Oh.
No,
Why are we all
please,
getting
this
so
is all
close to our
joke.
mics?
To make it dramatic.
Meat suckies. No.
Canceled.
Okay, so yeah, how do we feel about the whole West Coast being on fire? And also here, honestly, like it was 90 something today. I'm right now in just underwear and this t-shirt. If it wasn't on camera, I'd be completely naked. I'm sweating in all of my crevasses. What do we think?
Oh, no, I think it's here. Like, I was in Maine a couple weeks ago. Maine is supposed to be cool, and it was as hot up there as it is down here.
Ooh.
It's here. Like, I don't know how people can deny it. Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, it's also hot in Canada too. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't.
It's hot in Topeka too.
It's hot in Topeka. I'm a hot toe picker.
Pick my toe, it's hot.
Obviously, you know how I feel.
He's like,
Jackie's like, what?
What's happening?
What?
Jackie clearly never watched Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and it shows.
Oh, wait, no, I do. I did watch Foster's. I love Foster's.
Well, you aren't a big fan of it.
My memory sucks.
I'll show you the clip later. But yeah, we did a whole episode about climate change, and you know, you can go back and listen to that one. Any listeners who want to learn more about global warming and climate change, you can go ahead and listen to that podcast episode. I think it was like maybe I don't know, the 6th or 7th episode that we did. We're now on like episode 40 or something. My goodness. My goodness. What are we gonna do for the 50th episode of What Do the Gays Think?
Probably.
What?
We need something special for the 50th episode.
On the air? Yeah, I'll think of something. I come up with all the ideas, apparently.
Listen, I can only do so much for this podcast.
Nothing?
I
Nothing.
was gonna say it.
I edit
kidding.
and post
Kidding.
all the episodes. I don't want to hear shit.
I'm just kidding.
I know. You do so much, and I love you.
But no, it's here. It's here.
It's here, it's queer, and it's really homophobic. So yeah, now I open it up to the floor. I mean, have you guys heard any hot goss recently?
I just want to note that all your topics were painful. They were all pain.
You know what's funny? As I get older and I get more accustomed to the news and like reading shit, I realize that life is just pain. Life is pain.
Hello.
As the Buddhists say, it's suffering. Yeah.
Life is suffering. Existence is turmoil, and only the sweet release of death can really save me from that. So I don't believe in reincarnation because I don't want to come back. When it's done, it's done.
Wow. Amazing.
Okay, fine. You want something uplifting? Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me something uplifting.
I was at New York City Pride.
We know, yeah.
And I didn't have a good time personally, but looking around though, it was lovely because oh my god, I saw full naked man. I got it right.
No
right.
way.
So talk about no kink at Pride, and there's just a naked man in front of me. So anyway, I went to New York City Pride. It was like the first big event I've been to since quarantine was lifted in New York, and like no masks and shit. Even though there were signs that said to stay masked and stay 6 feet apart, even though it's like Pride and there's no possible way of doing that. So there were like all these booths set up from like 8th to 14th, I think. Yeah, 8th to 14th Street. People were selling shit. I bought a crop top. I sweat my ass off, but walking down the street, and there was a booth for body painting, and a man was marketing for them, and I saw his back. And he was completely naked, and I saw his ass. I'm like, okay, well, once he turns around, there's gonna be like a singlet, or there's gonna be like a sock.
Banana hammock, yeah.
fully exposed
Nope.
penis. I will say
Was it painted?
it was painting. His whole body was painted.
Cool.
I will say excellently groomed, completely flaccid, but like pretty big for flaccid. Like pretty thick for like it was like I was like it's sizable. Good for him.
I hope this man somehow listens to this podcast. Like, imagine.
Yeah.
Because there were other people who were body painted, but they had like they were either shirtless or they had like clothes on and shit. And I kind of wanted to go back and get some body painting done, but we didn't have time because I was involved with other things at the time, and I had no control. But yeah, I saw fully exposed penis, and I was like, only at Pride. And you know what? I didn't think it was a bad thing because I'm very body positive. So yeah, Pride happened. People were excited. People were living and thriving, and that's my exciting thing.
Aw, I love it.
I love you.
Okay.
All right.
I love my Gengar mug. It's ribbed for my pleasure.
You know, when I
Okay.
saw that and I was wondering what was on the front, I thought it was a little purple alligator, honestly.
Oh, no,
Ah.
no.
All right. I'm done with this.
Oh, you don't have anything to add?
Do you have anything?
All right. I was going to mention that Supreme Court case, but that one is also kind of sad. Should I mention it?
I mean,
Are we trying to be
Go for
positive?
go off.
No,
I was just teasing Pat.
Yeah,
Okay.
go off. Tell me. Tell me
There-
more. Tell me more.
There was that one Supreme Court case that was like basically a religious adoption agency didn't want to obviously let queer couples adopt. So they brought the case to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court basically ruled in favor of the religious agency, saying that under their First Amendment rights, freedom of religion, they don't have to let queer people adopt from their agency. And I just thought that was sad.
But here's the thing, though. I think it was because they were a Philly business, and the city of Philadelphia did not want to work with them anymore. So then the case was that Philly couldn't not work with them on the basis of their religious beliefs, which was that they didn't want to allow gay couples to adopt. The court ruled with them. I think now Philly has to cooperate with this adoption agency now, even though the city didn't want to, based on the fact they didn't let queer couples adopt. So good job, Philly, for trying to stick up for us gays, but bad job, Supreme Court, you fucking separation of church and state cunt.
Yeah, they ruled unanimously too, I think.
Yeah, I get it. So like, I hope no one adopts from these fuckers.
That please, we can
But
go
then
to we can go to other agencies to adopt. Jesus.
But then I feel bad for the
Yeah.
kids that are there, because then the kids aren't gonna get adopted.
Yeah, they get adopted by straight people too.
And then
Ew.
the priests are all like, "Well, the kids are here. I better
kids
molest
are
them."
here.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Because
Okay,
because the Christian church is one big pedophile ring.
that's
It
why
is.
they don't want people to adopt them, because they want them all to themselves.
I was just gonna say they don't want them taking from their herd.
Anywho,
Pat's face right.
Jackie, do you have anything to add?
I don't think I have anything to add. Sans to say that I look forward to June 2022 for the next Pride when hopefully things are even more open. And I know there's other Pride celebrations in, August and September, and I look forward to those. Pat,
Yeah, no.
forward.
Wink.
Wink. Yeah, no, I don't think I have any other queer events.
Well, great.
Amazing. All right, so thank you everyone for listening to this lovely episode of What Do the Gays Think? If you don't follow us on Twitter, go ahead and give us a follow there. We tweet some fun stuff. We tweet some memes. We tweet random things to hopefully people see it and like it, and who knows, maybe follow us. I don't know. Come give us a follow there. It's at WDTGT Podcast. That's WDTGT Podcast. And if you don't follow us on Twitch either, go ahead and give us a follow there. Our Twitch is What Do the Gamers Think? GAYMERS. We sometimes stream some fun games like Phasmophobia, where we get nice and spooky, and we stream with Jackie a lot. So Jackie, do you want to plug your stuff?
Heck yeah, I sure do. You can follow me on Instagram at Jacquilime, JAKQUILLIME, where I post all kinds of art content and more. And you can also find me on Twitch, where I stream art content, really questionable ghost shenanigans with Matt and Pat,
Questionable.
and also some other fun games. So you can come follow me, hang out there, and see if we just vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm on Twitter at king_Jaqueen, JAKWEEN.
Amazing.
Yeah, you silly goose.
And lastly, if you're on the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, leave us a comment. We love reading the comments. And if you're on any podcast platform, go ahead and leave us a rating or subscribe to get notified when new episodes come out. So thanks everybody, and I am Matt Klubeck.
And if I ever did that, I'd smack my ass like a drum. Smack my ass like a drum.
And I'm the fully naked man whose body was painted at Pride.
That was
Jackie.
your penis?
It was
That's
my
a
penis.
lovely penis, Jackie.
I'm just hung like a horse.
Excellent
Okay.
piece.
Okay. And on that note,
Bye.
bye.